is a deeper question altogether, which is, what do you desire? What makes you itch? What sort of a situation would you like? They come to me and say, well, we're getting out of college and we haven't the faintest idea what we want to do. So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Well, it's so amazing. As a result of our kind of educational system, crowds of students say, well, we'd like to be painters, we'd like to be poets, we'd like to be writers, but as everybody knows, you can't earn any money that way. Or another person says, well, I'd like to live an out-of-doors life and ride horses. I say, do you want to teach in a riding school? If you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way. And after all, if you do really like what you're doing, it doesn't matter what it is, you could eventually become a master of it. And so, therefore, it's so important to consider this question. What do I desire?
Already got 3 gold buckles. This is Sherry Cervi of Marana, Arizona.
My parents both competed when they were younger. My mom made the finals 3 years, the national finals in barrel racing in Oklahoma City. My dad competed in the very first NFR and calf roping, so rodeo's definitely in my blood. And when I was younger, I went to junior rodeos and high school rodeos, and it didn't matter what was going on in their lives. That my dad still was competing in the steer tripping, and so you know, I know that he made several sacrifices to make sure that I got to the rodeos that I needed to go to. I, in high school, also played basketball, so when we'd get through the game Friday night and we'd drive all night to the rodeo, and they'd make sure that, you know, my horses were loaded and ready to go when I got home from the game. And you know, looking back, I hope I was appreciative when it was happening, but I know the older I get, how fortunate I was to have parents that were so involved in my career and put their lives on hold to make sure that I had the opportunity to do what I wanted to do. And my dad used to tell me I'd go out there and spend hours brushing on them and their manes and tails, and he said, if you'd go and ride your horse as much as you brush on them, you sure would win a lot more. But eventually I got on them and I worked hard, and the saying, pretty as pretty does, but always liked a pretty horse.
Out of Marana, Arizona, that's the next lady getting ready, Sherry Cervi. Remember, they can go to the left or right barrel first, either one. De Niro takes off to the left, the next 2 to the right. You got him, you got him. Let's help the Arizona ladies, 17,000 strong.
The hardest part for me about rodeoing is being on the road and away from my house, because I love being home, but I also love running barrels and doing what, you know, having the opportunity to do what I love is great. Watch out, Franny. Franny. Come on, get in, get in, hup. I always wanted to be a barrel racer, and I'd go to the finals and watch the girls in Oklahoma City, and just knew that that's what I wanted to be and wanted to try. And you know, when I was younger, before I go to sleep, I'd envision myself running down the alley at the Thomas and Mack and on 10 different horses, because I thought that would be so cool to go to the finals and compete on a different horse every night. Had some horses, and when I got troubles and started winning on him and knew that there might be a chance that I could be at the NFR and run down that alley, you know, kind of the dream became reality. And I really didn't envision myself doing this long, but I feel like I'm going to take advantage of it, because you hear so many people say through their lives, enjoy it while it lasts, do it while you can before you get too old. And so I figure that I'm going to. I've been very fortunate to have horses that have allowed me to make a living running barrels. I get to see some really cool places, meet great people.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sherry Cervi, Midland, Texas. And you have to give credit where credit is due. This lady has hauled 3 or 4 of the greatest horses the industry and the WBRA can ever write stories about. The world champion. She's back to do it again. Beautiful. First one perfect. Look at the wrap on this one. Are you ready to help her? Do it. Oh, nice run. Clock says 14 and 20.
Before I get too old to do this, I'm going to take advantage of it. And you know, sometimes it's hard to keep a positive attitude on the road because you spend a lot of time by yourself. You may not be winning and may not be going how you want it to, but you have to remember at the end of the day that this is what I choose to do. Nobody's making me do this. If I want to stop, I can at any point, and so if I'm going to choose to do something, I might as well have a really good attitude. Like I said, sometimes, you know, the mental aspect of it, I think, is sometimes challenging, but if I'm going to do it, I might as well enjoy it and have a good attitude. And I don't want to look back and have any regrets and say I wish I would have done something different. And I feel like I have had a great career, and no matter what happens after this, it's been good. People have asked me if I could do one thing over again, what would I do? And I would pick to make one more run on Hawk. That feeling of how he ran barrels, and it was like you were on a four-wheeler going around the barrels. It was an amazing feeling.
Here's a lady that can beat you when she's running in the rocks with a foot of mud. Sherry Cervi, Midland, Texas. Yep, the feather is tied. Hawk is the man. Get the money. Let's go.
My dad used to tell me when I was a kid, because I used to like to run my horses or my pony around the barrels a lot. He said, you better be careful. Those horses are like a pack of cigarettes. One day you're going to run out of runs, and you better enjoy it while they last. And I think about that a lot. Then when I'm running my horse, that, you know, I'm going to enjoy this run. I'm going to make this run count. Don't waste this run. And because you never know when there won't be another one. She's such a good helper. She's keeping her eye out for bad dogs coming around. Franny has been on the road with me for 9 years, so she has seen a few miles. Oh, hate to think of the day when she's not going to be around with me. We won't. She's a good little companion. I kind of am a fanatic when it comes to shavings because I feel bad if my horse has to stand in a wet trailer, and I think it helps it make it softer, so I like a lot of shavings. I would want to stand in a lot of shavings and have a soft ride, so I figure I'll give my horses a soft ride. And, you know, I try to make it as comfortable as I can.
Here, let's get the money. Sherry Cervi, Marana, Arizona. You're about to watch the two-time champion of the world. You saw her in Dallas. You saw her in Omaha. Watch this cowgirl get it done. Made this horse on her own. Come on. Cervi around 3, clocking a 14:30.
Okay, yes, there's nothing that Stingray loves more than her shavings. So I can put it back after being on the road. In the trailer for hours, I can put a bag of shavings down, and within 10-15 minutes, she's laying in them. It could be a sandy grass, big area. She's gonna go find her shavings. She loves them. Precious. is her nickname. I give it Sting. My horses and my animals have nicknames for their nicknames. So, hers is Precious. You know, I make sure, you know, one thing in the mornings, you know, if my horse doesn't come and they start eating right away, then, you know, I'd get real nervous because, you know, they might not be feeling real good. But knock on wood, I'm very fortunate. My horses all eat, drink, rest really good on the road. And I think trying to get them in more kind of home atmospheres like we are here really helps. And the fact that they've been, you know, getting hauled for a couple years before they actually get full competition, I you know, think that helps too. Stingray has a trademark, and it's the cheetah print. We love the cheetah print. We use the cheetah boots, the cheetah polo wraps. When Stingray was born, she was definitely a unique color, but it seems like the older she gets, she changes colors with the season. It's weird. In the summer, she gets really dark, and she has these unique spots, and everybody asks me, you know, what color would you call that? And I call her my dirty blonde, but I think its registered color is, or what that would be called would be a chocolate palomino. But they're unique. She definitely has some bigger spots, and people will always be like, well, how come your horse is so dirty? Why don't you wash your horse? And, well, we don't wash the spot off. It stays. It's part of her, isn't it? We've kind of made the cheetah print Stingray's trademark, and it's been a lot of fun. And so when I see anything cheetah print, I have to get it, because it's for Stingray, of course. I'm a very routine person when it comes to a pre-competition run. Stingray gets her cheetah boots every run. We occasionally will put on pink boots for pink night, but 99% of the time she's got her cheetah boots on, and there's a certain way that I put on her boots every time. It does not matter. I start on the left side, I put her bell boot, then her splint boot, and I move to the hind. And I go around and I go to the right front, and put my bell boot, splint boots on, and go from front to back. And then I braid her mane, and then I switch and put my competition bit on, and fix my saddle, cinch her up, and we're ready to go.
The next lady is the reigning champion, three-time champion of the world, first in the average and third in the standings. Watch Stingray and Sherry Cervi. Come on, Arizona, let's go. Come on, Vegas, let's go. Oh my goodness. 1393. Now you got a race.
I feel that Stingray and I have this bond, and it's kind of hard to explain, but I can look at her and she's got this look in her face. I know her different looks, and when she is getting ready to do something naughty, like she sometimes will pull back, and she gets that look in her eye, and it's a little bit, she gives me a warning, and I better be doing something about fixing whatever's around her that she doesn't like, because it's gonna be bad. But I think it's a really cool bond, and I think that I can't speak for the other barrel racers, but I feel that barrel racers and their horses have a bond, and it's a special bond, and I definitely had that bond with Hawk. He made it easy. Troubles was a little bit harder because he didn't want you messing with him, but Stingray, she's my friend, she's my buddy, and she runs gives me 110% every time, and I appreciate that, and I feel like if I take care of her the best I can and give her the best care, that's kind of my payment, and I feel like she knows that I'm trying to take care of her, just like her shavings. I know that she'd just as soon lay in her shavings as not, and so when we pull up somewhere, it doesn't matter if it's, $10 bag of shavings that I'm only going to use for a couple hours, I'm going to put it down for her, because I know she appreciates it. So, I've been very fortunate to ride the horses that I have in my career, and I would not be where I'm at without them. I know that. And every one of them has been a stepping stone to get me to where I'm at now, and I'm very grateful. And I think Stingray, just because my parents raised her and got to kind of watch her grow up and become the horse that she has made it just a little bit extra special. And it's cool that when I'm getting ready a high pressure run, like running for 50,000, I know she's going to show up, and she's going to give me her all, and I need to be there and be ready to give my all, and it's kind of like we're a team. There was a few years that after I'd made the finals, and then I had young horses, and they just weren't quite at the level that I needed them to be, and I was struggling, and I felt like questioned why am I still doing this? Do I have anything left to prove? And my parents were in the breeding business, and so we were riding colts, and you always hope that your horse or that colt is going to be the one. And when Stingray was born, because of her breeding, I paid a little bit extra attention to her growing up and being broke, and had high hopes. And when I started competing on her and had success on her again, it's a very rewarding feeling. And I paid my dues on her, though, I feel, because she'd run in there and maybe not work every time she'd try, but she'd spook or maybe have a little bit of trouble with the ground, and I felt like it was just all a learning process of seasoning one. And sometimes that is the hardest part about getting your horse to that level is the seasoning part. And so we definitely paid our dues and just kept entering, and had a goal, and I wanted to make the NFR on a horse that my parents raised, and it was the first year that I did. It was incredible that it was in '09, and I had run Tin Man a little bit. He was, I think, 16 years old, and when I left for the NFR, I left him. The oldest horse I had in my trailer was Stingray, and she was 7, and that I wanted to get a little panicky because I had never gone to the finals and on that green of a horse, but she did outstanding, and it was a really big thrill.
We're looking for a 2-time champion of the world to go to the top of the USST board with a 14:09 or quicker. Marana, Arizona's, this is Cervi Cervi.
For the Marana, Arizona Cowgirl on Stingray.
Get you a sack full. Help a world champion become a champion again.
She'll make 10 runs just like that.
Stingray's gonna take the lead.
Tell you what, that horse is getting faster.
Good one. Arizona, bring it on. That is the fastest time of the week so far, 13:80.
She's gotten faster with each run.
I had made the finals 8 years in a row, and was just thinking that I couldn't see a bad day. I had great horses and was getting to do what I loved, and my husband got killed in '01, and my world stopped. Didn't really know what I was going to do with my life. I didn't go to a rodeo for a year, and I couldn't tell you what I was going to do at the end of the day, let alone the end of the week or the month. And so I still rode horses and I competed, but I honestly was going through life day by day and questioning what I was going to do with my life. And I finally decided that, you know what, I love competing, and kind of looked at I needed to not take things for granted, because you don't know what tomorrow is going to present. So I entered San Antonio. That was before they had it limited, and went there. I was on 10-man, and I remember once I got there, I was so nervous. I was about to have myself an anxiety attack. I'd never had an anxiety attack, but I think I almost had one, because I was questioning. I had no confidence in myself. Didn't matter what I'd won in the past. I just was like, man, I do not belong here with these girls. I don't have the horse. And I don't want to do this anymore. And then I kind of had to, okay, talk myself and be like, look, it's just a barrel race. And 10-man is capable of competing. And so I made the short round at San Antonio, ran twice, and was thinking, wow, I couldn't really believe that I'd come. It was a year and a half to get me to that point of back in competition. And I ended up winning the rodeo. And if you ask me today what's the most important win in my life, and I'm going to tell you that San Antonio, because it, you know, was in a time in my life that I questioned what I was going to do, and had no confidence, and I won, and kind of, I don't know, almost jump-started my second part of my career that I feel very grateful. And that then after 10-man I got Stingray, and you know, and here we are. And I hope that if there's, you know, by my success and kind of questioning what I'm going to do with my life can help somebody out there that is struggling and wondering what they're going to do. And I truly feel that there's some things that you can't control in life, and you have to not take for granted what you have today, because you honestly don't know what tomorrow's going to present, or it may not be tomorrow. So doing something that you love and that drives you and makes you get out of bed every day is so important. And if you know, that's one thing that you can take from my experiences is enjoy life.
Ladies and gentlemen, an all-time record-setting year for coming in, and again she does it. The world champion from Midland, Texas, #1 in the average. $33,000 is what she's working at here tonight. What can Sherry Cervi do now? Hawkman, go to it. First in the average, first in the world, going for the title again. Sherry Cervi that crossed the $200,000 mark last night.
This is Sherry Cervi, Midland, Texas, and this is Hawk in around that first barrel. Watch this cowgirl ride and watch this horse gather and run.
10-man, 10-man, let's run.
Now to Sherry Cervi, the lady with a ton of heart, from Marana, Arizona. No give up in this cowgirl, and she is a hand.
Don't count her out of it as you watch her on this run.
That's Dinero.
The next lady raised the horse she's riding. She's won $88,000. Sherry Cervi.
When a new arena record by a two-time champion of the world has been set. The lady voted with all the talent in the WPRA.
A $2 million career, and now a 3-time world champion barrel racer.
Come on, everybody, do what you're doing. Look what she did.
Yo! It's a new arena record.
Oh, Sherry Cervi.